Shalom, family.
Shalom, shalom, shalom.
We want to talk about what's going on in these last days. Just talk about a little of these things. And this one is actually titled Emergency Needs Sold Out, Out of Stock, and Unavailable.
And this is some of the things that we have been experiencing.
Yes.
First of all, we want to know, before we get into this, can you all hear us okay? Let us know.
Yes. Can everyone hear us okay?
These are some very exciting times, and not exciting in a good way, if you know what I mean.
Yes.
But basically, stuff is happening, and it's happening fast. So we want to get into what's going to happen as things become unavailable, sold out, or just no longer
out of stock.
Is out of stock, right?
Yeah.
So
yeah,
we are actually starting to see that. We've experienced that.
Yes.
Something that we felt, we've been saying that we need to start getting the things that we need.
Mm-hmm.
We need to start fortifying. And so we were looking at some things that we needed, and we noticed right when we were trying to order something, we got a quote for something.
Yes.
And when it was time to go ahead and say, hey, let's order this thing, what did it say?
Matter of fact, it was amazing because I actually got a quote, and I spoke with this company, and they're like, yeah, we sent you over a invoice or whatever, and I was like, okay, fine, So I went in to purchase. They were like, sold out. I was like, sold out? Wait a minute. So when I got him back on the phone, he said, wow. He's like, we were just in a meeting this morning, and I can't believe this didn't come up in a meeting that we're sold out. He was like, we're completely sold out. And I was like, wow, that quick. You mean to tell me the night before, they had plenty available, and that quick, things are selling out. And so we got to be aware of that, because there are things that we need that we can't procrastinate on.
Right.
Emergency things that we need. There are things like candles and matches and things to start fires and things to hunt with and things that just a bunch of different things. And these things are selling out quick. As a matter of fact, what amazed me, one while it was hard to get 9mm bullets.
I know.
I mean, it was a scary thing, and they had gone up. The prices were ridiculous. $2-3 a bullet. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Who gonna go out and practice shooting with $2-3 a bullet?
Exactly. Right.
Easy time you shoot, there's $1.
There's $2 right there.
And so it's amazing when you see this stuff happening and unfolding. And another thing that's scary is when you see all the people that's in La La Land.
Right. But what's the trip, though? Even though there's a lot of people in La La Land, the fact that we're starting to see the sold out, out of stock, and unavailable, somebody's paying attention.
Yeah.
So there's enough people paying attention to where things are selling out.
Yes.
Things are unavailable. Things are out of stock.
Mm-hmm.
But yet and still, La La Land is open.
Yeah, La La Land is open. And so, we got to wake up. We got to see what's going on. We got to see what season this is. It's not hard. Let me just tell you this here, right? It's not hard, right? When you're sitting out in your little comfortable chair on your deck, on your porch, or in your backyard, right? And it's nice sunny day, and you just sit down, you chilling. You say, wow, I'm just enjoying this, right? And the next thing you know, you look at the distance, you start seeing these darker clouds heading your way. And then before you know it, they're heading your way, and they get closer and closer and closer. And next thing you know, you're like, whoa, what's going on? Now, we experienced that. Remember in Belleville years ago when we had that yard sale?
Yes.
We had this yard sale outside. Beautiful day, just sunny and beautiful. People coming to the yard sale. And while we were sitting there, we noticed it looked like some clouds were coming. Let me tell you something. As we sat there and watched, they came upon us so fast, we didn't even get a chance to cover up everything. We could barely make it in the house.
Yeah, it was like that rain was on us.
And that wind.
The rain and the wind.
Yes.
This is when we were in Michigan. This is what, 20 years ago?
Yeah, 20 plus years ago.
Yeah,
exactly.
I remember that day. It was a trip. It was on us so fast. The rain and the wind. After such a beautiful, it's like 20 minutes before that, the sun was shining and the sky was blue.
Yeah. Perfect day. It was a perfect day. And then all of a sudden that storm just came out of nowhere. Mm-hmm. It's like we literally had 10 to 15 minutes to get everything covered up and get in the house before that storm was coming down that fast. Mm-hmm. And so I'm saying, in other words, look at the signs of the times, right? Look at the signs of the times. The scripture tells you that when the summer came, you know fall got to come, right? You can't pretend that summer's going to last forever. Here it is, October, and somebody still thinking, we still summertime. No, it's October, right?
It's time to prepare for the season before the season.
That's right. So you don't prepare for winter in wintertime. Right?
Exactly.
You don't wait till it's winter and then you're going to prepare for it, right? It's amazing. We have been watching some of these survival shows, and some of these things are really amazing to watch, Mm-hmm. But one of the things that used to have me just shaking my head, on some of these shows, they got episodes and episodes and episodes and seasons that a lot of these people that's on the show don't watch previous seasons, and they still don't know what's the first thing they should do when you get out in the woods, in the wilderness.
Right.
And you sit there, you shaking your head like you give 2 or 3 people waiting 20 days before they decide to make themselves a shelter.
I'm like, are you out of your mind? They told you it's bears out here, lions, Wolverines. Yeah. They already told you the kind of animals to expect in the area. Wolves.
But winter coming, yeah.
And so you got a little, some of them have a string and a tarp.
Yeah.
I'm like, you ain't thinking straight. You are not thinking straight if you think a string and a tarp is going to keep an animal away from you.
I mean, it's just amazing because I've never lived out in the wild to be a survivalist like this, right? And it seems like these people that do this would know what's the first thing to do. Then you would know that you don't wait 20 days before you try to build yourself a shelter after you ain't ate nothing in 20 days hardly. Right. Now you're all weak and tired and you decide you're going to build some fortified shelter to keep a bear out. It's just, things like this cracks me up because I sit there and say, man, sometimes common sense...
It's not so common.
It's not... Exactly, it's not so common. So we're looking at the signs of time. Look at the signs of the times. Look at what's going on in the environment out here. They talk about new diseases coming out now.
Yeah.
They talk about people dropping dead all over the place, right? Morgues are getting piled with bodies, and so what do you do? Let's play a video game.
Wow. Let's buy tickets to La La Land. Yeah. So look, we need to start taking things a lot more serious. One of the biggest things in which they are trying to keep people distracted with so many other things. It's not that you can't pay attention to these other things and be in the know, but understand what it means that the dollar is falling fast.
It's falling fast.
Okay? Understand what that means. This is why we suspect that a lot of people are saying, you know what? I need to buy this. I need to buy that. I need to stock up on this, that, and the third. And that's why it's out of stock, sold out, and unavailable, because some people are paying attention and they are saying that we need to get while we can while the getting is good.
Yeah, get it while you can. Mm-hmm. Get it while you can, These prices are going up so high, too. That's another frightening thing. Listen, we're not trying to send fear. We're trying to cause you to fortify. Yes.
Don't fear, fortify.
You know what's I'm going to tell you something. You'd be surprised how fast prices will go up. Just 3 years ago, we could buy cattle panels at about, how much were they?
$19.99.
$19.99 for a cattle panel. If you need those, you know what a cattle panel is. It's like it's almost like a big metal fence part. It's probably about, I think they'd be about 10 feet or 12 feet long.
They're 4 feet by 16 feet.
By 16 feet, yeah. And they're made of metal, basically, right?
Real strong, heavy duty.
Yeah, so they were only $19.99, right?
Yes.
All of a sudden, those things doubled. In just in no time, they just doubled.
Actually, they've tripled. They're $60 now.
Oh my goodness, $60.
$59.99.
Wow.
Yes.
For a cattle panel.
Mm-hmm.
And so I saw the cattle panels we had around here. Something we wouldn't use. I said, boy, that's $60 right there now.
$60. Exactly.
You know?
One day, someone had some on Facebook Marketplace, and he didn't sell it. He wasn't selling them at the new price.
Right.
He wasn't selling them at the old price either, the $19.99. He said, "Oh, my dad's had these for a few years. They've just been sitting around." He wanted about $30 each for them. I said, "Wow, that's a deal. We want them all." He said, "Ma'am, we done got so many messages on this. Is first come, first serve. Whoever gets here first." Before we could even do anything, he had marked the listing sold.
Yeah.
So even at that higher price of around, it was actually between 30 and 40.
Yeah.
So he knew that they increased in value.
Yeah.
And he sold them at that increased price.
Wow.
Or some in between the old price and the increased price, because he didn't sell them for the $60 that they're going for now, but somewhere between 30 and 40. And so I said, even with that, people are paying attention. They know what's going on.
Yeah.
I'm seeing more and more bartering. There was something I was looking at on Facebook Marketplace today.
Mm-hmm.
The guy said, "I'm willing to even trade for this." He said, "If you have this or that," he said, "all I can do is say no, but just make me an offer. Let me know what you got," right? Mm-hmm. And so a lot of bartering is starting to happen more and more as well.
Well, I'm going to tell you something. The number of times that we would see things on Facebook Marketplace that we wanted, and these were items that's like, oh man, these things are going up, and let's get this here, and we call and be like, "It's sold." I'm sorry, it's sold. Like that quick.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, some of these things are selling out so fast until it ain't funny.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and so they even sheds. You know, I've seen the price of sheds because we had purchased a couple of sheds a few years ago. And those prices are gone. I'm saying they are gone. If you wanted a shed now, it's gonna cost you a lot of money. And one while, even 2x4s, it went up. All wood, it went up. The price of wood, it more than tripled at one time. You know.
Yeah.
And so the bottom line is, when you see all this stuff going on, you got to be ready. You gotta plan things, and you got to say, hey, Let me save my money, so I'm going to just purchase this here. So I need to go on and get this here, go on and get that there. You know, plan things out and spend your money wisely. Because I'm telling you right now, you don't want to wait for the day. Like a person wait for the day and they decide, oh, they want to get a gun, and guess what? The guns are all sold out. You can't get none.
Or you get a gun and the bullets are
ain't no
sold
bullets.
out.
Yeah, bullets sold out. And what's the point of having a gun? You can't buy bullets, right? You know, there are things that you can hunt with. You know, and so I'm telling you right now, family, it really this is a very weird time. This is the time that I've talked about. My wife have talked about. We both have talked about this for years.
Yes.
20, 30 years ago, I was talking about this time coming, and now we're living it.
Right.
It's heaping up very fast.
Very fast.
So I want to urge you all, right? So don't wait until things are completely sold out of stock and unavailable, right? Don't wait that long, right? You don't want to wait that long. If there's some things you need to get, go on and get them. Don't wait. I'll tell you that now. Don't wait. I mean, we were thinking about getting a tank, a water tank. One time we went and they were gone. I was like, man, there ain't none out there no more. You know, I was like, wow.
I remember when the water tanks used to be like under $1,000 for like a 2,500 gallon.
Yep.
I remember back then, y'all, thinking that was way too much money.
Yeah. For
a big thing of plastic. Okay, now mind you, it does hold 2,500 gallons of water.
Right.
But I felt like $1,000 was too much for a tank made of plastic. It's heavy duty plastic, but I still felt like it was too much.
Yep.
Guess how much those tanks are going for now? I want to see if anyone could just throw some guesses in the chat here for a 2,500 gallon water tank to catch water from your roof and store it for a rainy day. Huh? Anyone want to take any guesses as to what those are going for now? You all are lagging about 60 seconds behind us based on our settings in the back office, but I want to see some guesses in there. Okay, so Kaya Yasher L said 2,000. Someone else said 4,000, 5,000, 5,000, 2,000, 5,000, 2,500, 3,000. So I'm wondering if these are you all's prices in your areas. Is that the reason you're putting in our area? They're running about $2,000 for one that size.
Yeah, between 2,000 and 2,500.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, because one place we got it was 2,000, and another place was 2,200.
Yeah.
And so it depends on where. But if for the person who put 10,000, I can't believe they would charge 10,000, and somebody put 20,000. They ought to be ashamed of themselves if that's what they're charging for a water tank.
Yeah.
Alvin Learning said 8,000. Is that a price that you've seen, family? Are these prices that you all have seen somewhere for a 2,500 gallon
they
tank?
Might just be guessing.
Okay, I'm asking because some people may have seen these prices.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so that's crazy. And get this, I remember when I thought $1,000 was too much.
Yeah.
And we were waiting. We was like, that's too much. Let's just see if we can find a. And we waited.
Yeah.
And now we wish we would have jumped on it at that time.
Yeah. It's really scary to see the prices of this stuff going up. You know these are things you need.
Right.
And you see this stuff just going up like this. I'm telling you right now, it's a scary thing sometimes to see these prices go up like this. You say, man, and so now is the time before stuff go up even higher. Watch this, right? What's happening to the dollars this year? And this is why you got to understand that, okay? The cost of inflation, okay? What you got to understand is that when the value of the dollar goes down, the price of things go up.
Yes.
And when you understand that and you see that, it's like, man, I get it now. You know? So now it don't take $1. This is why a bag of chips back in the days would cost you 25 cents, 10 cents, right? And now the same bag you paying $3 for it, right? That's what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
You see? That's why a loaf of bread, you get a loaf of bread for 25 cents back in the days, right? Now a loaf of bread costs you $3-4, you know? So that's what's going on. You see, this is what's going on, and it's going to get worse.
Okay, so let me ask. Phyllis said they purchased 2 330-gallon water tanks for $560. They've really gone up on these things.
Exactly.
They have really gone up. I feel like they are intentionally breaking the bank.
Yeah.
It's like everybody digging down in your pockets right now.
Yeah.
Everybody want their piece. It's like a money grab right now. Before the dollar crashes, they're like, let me get as much of it as I can, so that I can take from others. And oh my goodness, the mindset of this world is off the chain to me.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna tell you right now, get what you need now. Don't wait till that stuff double. You know what I mean? Get what you need now. Look at some of the supplies and different things that you can get, you know, and just get what you need now. Because when things go belly up, man, I'm going to tell you right now, that dollar ain't going to be worth nothing. But if you got things, guess what? You can barter, right? The guy brought out a very interesting point about having gold during that time, right? So he made this point. He said, so I got, somebody has a gold piece that's worth $100 or so, right? And he said, but you want to just purchase something that only costs $20. And he's like, ain't nobody you're not going to give them your $100 gold piece and all you get is this $20 item. Because you're going to want at least enough merchandise to cover that. And so he was explaining how that bartering is just going to be different. People ain't going to want to barter for gold, because then if they get the gold, it's like, well, what I'm going to do with this?
Right.
Exactly.
A loaf of bread for a chunk of gold? I don't think so.
Exactly. You see what I'm saying? And so it's just going to get to the point, people just got to understand how crazy things can get. And bartering, a lot of bartering has been going on. They trying to make it so that they trying to ban a lot of things. You know what I'm saying?
I like what J. Diesel Cowboy said, that don't forget about the loss of freedom when they push that electric currency out there. And see, that's another thing. They know that their dollar is losing value and that people are losing interest in the dollar, right?
Right.
And going after the Chinese yen and all these other things. And so now they're trying to jump into the digital currency market. But you can best believe that once they push this digital currency, that they have essentially taken away your freedom. Yeah. I mean, that's what it boils down to.
They want to control you.
Yeah, this is why a lot of people will be bartering, because you won't be able to go to a person who has something on Facebook Marketplace and just pay them $50 for an item or $100 or a few $100, unless they have some type of digital way of swapping cash. Yes. But then that puts you at risk of having every transaction that you have in somebody's database. What if you buy something that you're not really wanting people to know that you have? It's in somebody's database. Yeah. What if you buy a rare part that a machine needs and there's only like a few available? That's it.
And they know you got one.
Right, because their database shows that, oh, there's a person in this city, this state, who just bought one on this date.
Yeah.
That's control.
That's control. It's really a tripped out thing thinking about all that's happening right now. These are things that we saw in shows and movies years ago.
Yes.
10, 15 years ago. And, now this stuff is coming to pass, It's literally coming to pass. And so, I just want to urge you all to stay woke and continue to get the things that you need, for this time. Save up and get the things that you need. Like we talked about, matches and candles and just other things, certain type of knives and hunting tools and chopping tools for wood, like axe and other things that are very important for survival. You just got to get those things. The scripture talks about Yah's people needing to flee to the wilderness or being caught up to the wilderness.
Right.
So that's coming, right?
Right.
When you see that scripture, that's coming. And
yes.
We got to be getting close to it, right?
Right.
So why not have some things that'll get you through that wilderness?
Exactly.
I
like what Antoinette said, that women's personal hygiene products. So in that regard, I think someone else said something about baby wipes in there. That's a good thing to have as well.
Yes.
Other people actually show or have instructions on making your own, but of course you have to make sure that the water doesn't go sour. However you're storing them, you have to keep it fresh, and that's one thing with the baby wipes. As long as they stay wet and not exposed to the air, they should be good for some time. But I would suggest finding a way to make your own as well, because again, things are going to be sold out of stock, and unavailable, and we don't want to be caught out here unprepared. Now, sometimes when we look at these other nations, we see how they work together. We see how prepared they are, and it bothers you, because you say, it's not that it bothers you that they're getting prepared and ready. It bothers you that they're able to work together on things and our people are not. Mm-hmm. And then also some of our people are not even interested in what you're talking about. Mm-hmm. The number of people who just kind of shut it out when you even talk about these things, they have a mindset of, don't rain on my parade. Mm-hmm. They don't want you to rain. They don't want you to shake their foundation. They don't want you to put any thoughts out. I mean, it's one thing if we're talking 20 years ago, where a person could say, we ain't nowhere near that. So just, can you please not talk to me about that? But this stuff is happening now, so we are without excuse at this point.
Yeah,
we're without excuse.
I want to say this here too. The number of people, because we like to watch. There's a lot of tiny home type videos. We and my wife like to watch farm videos and things like that. Things dealing with that type of stuff. We like to watch survival and all of that kind of stuff. And I want to say this: the number of people that are downsizing
Yes.
from their big homes, moving into tiny homes, getting solar panels and living off grid on farms. It's incredible the number of people that's doing this right now. It's like everybody is sensing that this is about to go down. That something's about to go down where they're going to need to be off grid. You know, off grid is a common thing now. Once upon a time, you go back 10 years ago, you probably couldn't even find any shows talking about off grid living or survival. Right. Not everything is about. There's tons of shows.
As a matter of fact, anyone talking about it back then, they called you a conspiracy theorist.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? There was even talk about if you have more than such and such amount of food saved up, then you might be on some watch list. I'm like, how sick is that to be on somebody's watch list because you decide you want to save some food?
Yeah.
That shows you the control they want. They want a dependent population.
Yeah.
Right? And so why would you be considered a threat because you want to save food for your family?
Mm-hmm.
What kind of mindset criminalizes something like that?
Something like that, yep.
Whew, don't get me started on the wickedness that these people, like one songwriter said, I thought my imagination needed sanitation, but they really that evil. You know?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, they really are that evil, you know? That they'll sit back and they'll see, it's just like this one guy who, he's a Caucasian, he got himself some land, and he had decided he gonna go off grid and do a lot of different things, right? And the number of people that saw his videos were getting angry in other states.
Right.
People in other states was watching him and were getting angry and talking about, you can't do that, you can't do this, and getting angry at him because he figured a way to live his life in peace and away from all of the craziness, and they're going to try to bring it to us though anyway.
Exactly. So it's like, what kind of mindset does that?
Yeah.
Because someone wants to unplug from the matrix, how is it that they become your enemy? You stay plugged in. If that's what you want to do, okay, stay plugged in.
Keep drinking your delusion Kool-Aid.
Come on now. Yeah, keep doing that. Yeah. But if someone wants to unplug, leave them alone.
Leave them alone. Let them go and go.
Right.
You know what? Let me tell you something. If a person told me, hey, you know what, man, I'm going to move out in the wilderness, you know, I'm taking me and my family, we got ourselves a cabin, we're going to do this, well, go ahead, brother.
Yeah, that's what
do your thing.
Hey, if that's what makes you happy.
Do your thing. Exactly.
As my mother would say, if that's what floats your boat, hey.
Yeah.
Right.
Exactly.
So again, it's so many people, and it's not just so-called black people. As we mentioned, this was a white guy who shows a lot of his off-grid activities, and people getting frustrated. He built his own cabin, right? That was one thing that he did.
Yeah.
And people were messaging him, telling him, well, you know, that's not built according to codes, right? And he's like, well, it's for me. I'm living in it. You don't have to worry about it. You know, he said, I'm living on unrestricted property. Nobody else is going to live in this but me and my wife. You know? Mm-hmm. And he says, what do you care how I'm building my cabin? Right? But that's the extent of how frustrated. See, the thing is, people like that guy who wants to live off grid is a reminder to those who are plugged in that they are plugged in. Yeah. Right? He's a reminder because he's doing something. He says, I'm unplugging now. Okay, goodbye.
Yeah.
And in their mind, it's like, how dare you show by example what I should be doing? Yeah. You
like
know,
crabs in the barrel. You know, like crabs in the barrel. You see this one trying to get out, he almost got out. You gonna reach up there and just yank him back down.
Right.
You know, like crabs in the barrel. I tell you. Mm-hmm. But anyway, family, we just thought we wanted to bring that up because it was really just a shock to me that when I was trying to purchase something that was, and they were like sold out, and I was like, that quick. The very next morning, you know, they were sold out. And even the person he's like a manager that deals with the company was like, I can't believe that we had a meeting this morning. They didn't tell nobody knew that we had sold out.
See, the thing is, online sales, they just happened.
Yeah.
It was something we were purchasing online, but we had to get a quote for it. And so with online sales, it just happened, but it was an emergency needs type thing, right? And so you say to yourself, okay, what else is going to be unavailable or out of stock or sold out? And so that means that we should be making a list, right? Making a list of what is needed. Okay?
Yeah.
Not only making that list, but trying to get that list of things.
Yes.
Or as close to it as you can. And if you are unifying with other people, if you found yourself in a position where you're able to work with other people, compare notes on what you all have, and consider saying, okay, well, we have this. What do you guys have? And so we can just kind of get different and separate things, but when the need presents itself, we can come together and we got everything we need. I notice how even a lot of the farmers around here, they work together. We've talked about this before. They work together.
They work together, that's right.
They have their own individual farms, but they work together. Mm-hmm. Someone in the chat, AB says, double up on some stuff. Isn't that what we do?
Yep.
We say, okay, in case this thing right here burns out. As a matter of fact, with our well, we said we ain't gonna wait till our well pump don't work anymore. We're gonna get another one, and it's gonna be on standby.
Yep.
That's how you have to think at this point.
Yeah, that's how you gotta think.
That's how you have to think. Phyllis Bush says, support your local farmers. She says we get 15 dozen eggs for $40. Wow, that's pretty good. Wow.
Yeah, it is. Wow.
That's really good. We buy quail eggs from one lady we've been buying from. Of course, they're a lot smaller. You don't get as much, but they're very healthy for you. So sometimes we'll buy them and put them in the incubator. Sometimes we will buy them and eat them. Mm-hmm. It all depends on what needs we have at that time. But yes, so much to think about, family. Not to worry about, but so much to think about and plan for according to Yah's will. Of course, you want to make sure that you are always asking the Most High for His leading and His guiding.
That's right.
You know, I'm to the point now where when I wake up in the morning, I'm like, Father, what you got for me? Mm-hmm. What you want me to get into today? You know, what you want us to get into today? You know, He will lead us and guide us. That's the faith that I have in my Father. Yes. You know, He will lead you and guide you. I spoke the other day about something that I wish I had realized years ago. Mm-hmm. I might share it in a separate video, but when it came to me, I said, gee whiz, I can't believe I didn't think about this. Mm-hmm. I can't believe it would have solved something so major, but I'm thankful that I have it now. I'm thankful that I have it now. And it was on the morning that I said, I'll be out. What you want to show me today? What you got for me today? You know?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I'll tell you, family, again, Mercy Needs sold out of stock, unavailable. You know?
I like what J. Diesel said here. It says, learn where to find plants of all kinds of natural uses. That's a very important thing. Food, medicine, cures, hygiene, healing, and such. That's a very important thing. That's one of the things we learned watching those survival shows.
Yeah, it was amazing because one of the things that we noticed in the show, they kept getting this is kelp. Mm-hmm. And sea kelp. Yeah, we ended up getting some supplements. This kelp. Uh-huh. And I said, man, I didn't realize that stuff was that good for you, you know. Mm-hmm. But they were finding wild kelp out near the water and stuff. It's like a seaweed.
And all kinds of things they were finding too.
I know.
Like one lady had gotten bitten by a spider while she was on this thing, and it was swelling pretty bad. And she knew exactly.
She sure did.
She knew exactly what to get out in the wild. To draw that poison out of there. Mm-hmm. So, yes, of course. Kaya Yasharella says edible weeds. Yes, that was something we had our children study many years ago. There was a website called eattheweeds.com, and it shows you all of the so-called wild weeds that are out here that are actually food that can be consumed, right? And one of the things that we were growing in abundance where we used to live was called lamb's quarter. They got other names for it too, but I'm going to stick with lamb's quarter because I think the other one is called pigweed. How do you get two different names for something like that? One called lamb's quarter, the other pig's weed, but it's the same thing. Anyway, lamb's quarter was growing in abundance, and it tastes very similar to spinach. And it had gotten to the point where we didn't look at that like it was a weed growing in the yard. We would let it take over certain areas because everybody loved it. The children would get to the point where they'd say, "Mommy, can we have some lamb's quarter for lunch?" And so everybody would go out there and get their own bushel of lamb's quarter, and just sizzle it up with some garlic and onions, and voila, lunch.
You know, it's amazing. Growing up in the city of Detroit, we had alleys behind our home, right? And in this alley behind our home, there were wild grapes growing. There were lamb quarters. I never even knew those things were edible. Lamb quarters. There was burdock growing. There was, what's that one plant? What is it? Plantain. Plantain was growing. I mean, all of these things were just growing wild right behind us. Dandelions in the alley. You know, and other things that was in the alley that I later found out were edible. And I was like, man, you mean tell me all this stuff is edible? And so imagine this, right? The stuff hit the fan. It gets crazy out there. Folk run around starving and killing and doing all this crazy stuff, not realizing there's food right around. They walking on food.
Right on the ground.
Right on the ground. Wild garlic, wild lettuce, just stuff that's on the ground that's growing naturally in the grass that people just don't know what it is.
Exactly. Quitshin says, get a Bowie knife and a hatchet. Arad Yashrala says, dandelions are edible. Yes, we look at dandelions like they are very beneficial. As a matter of fact, we have some dandelion that we mix in our smoothies sometimes. Jay Diesel says, make poison darts for protection. Now that's something we're going to have to look up and see what skill sets behind that, because that sounds like a pretty good idea. A pretty good idea for protection, because I do believe that primitive ways of protection or protecting yourself are in order.
Yeah.
Okay. You can't just depend on the guns and things of that nature, but other ways as well.
Yep, exactly. Yeah, there are traps and different things you can do. That's another thing I like about this show. I was watching them how they were they can make traps for animals. Now, I didn't agree with a lot of stuff they were trapping and eating, because I eat according to the dietary law. I ain't gonna trap no rat and no mouse and no porcupine and stuff like that, and you're eating that stuff.
They were eating some of everything.
Yeah, anything beavers they could catch, and stuff. A lot of the stuff they were eating was just not edible things. But there are deer out there, right? We can have deer, right? And there's other animals too that we can eat. And so
Arad Yar says they found out that the cigar-looking cattails can be eaten too. You cut the roots off and eat them like zucchini. Wow! So I ordered some of those seeds some time ago. I have yet to plant them. I would like to try to germinate some of those kind of seeds. But the thing is, we've been putting so much concentration on the food that we know that we haven't gotten into those experiments. But maybe we should, because we recently found out. I think it was last year we found out that the hostas are edible. And we use those as beautiful ornamental plants here in our landscaping, right? A few years ago, we found out that the canna lily leaves are edible. If I'm not mistaken, don't quote me on this, but I think the roots are too.
What are those beautiful red flowers that you be growing?
Oh, the celosia. Oh my goodness. Yeah. Now we've eaten the celosia before. We'll put that in. It's so pretty. It's unbelievable that you can eat it.
Yeah.
You put it in salads. Africans have a recipe that I've heard that they use to make the celosia plants flowers, but and then we also use the leaves sometimes in salad. But that stuff will take over your yard. It will take over. It throws down so many seeds. It's not perennial, but because it gives off so many seeds, it's coming back. Yeah. It's coming back. you know. And it's coming back with a vengeance, but it's a pretty vengeance, though. That's the thing about the celosia. It comes back so beautiful. You don't feel like you're just overrun by them.
Yeah.
You know, so.
Yeah, well, I tell you, family, it's just amazing. I really enjoy the farm life, you know.
Yes.
And it took a minute to get used to it at first, you know. But now that we got it going, I'm really enjoying it, and I just continue to pray that the Most High continue to open more doors and give us more understanding about growing food and continue to barak us as it relates to raising animals and stuff, you know. And I'm gonna tell you, family, I've said this before. It's so easy to raise chickens, and they're very cheap, and the benefits of them is incredible. I'm gonna tell y'all right now, right? Listen to what I tell you, right? So let's say you say, "Bill, I only got a small backyard." Look, let me tell you something. A chicken coop can be built out of anything, and scrap wood even. All you need to do is get chicken wire or something to keep other animals out of it, right? But watch this. You can have 2 or 3 chickens or 4 or 5 chickens, right? First of all, you say, "But I gotta buy feed for them." Not necessarily, because you can just move them around on your grass and they'll peck your grass down, right?
Eat the bugs.
Or every day when you have scraps left over, you know what I'm saying? Like banana peels, or who eats banana peels, right? But chickens will peck on that stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
Any scraps you have left over, the chicken will peck on it and they'll eat that stuff, right?
Yes.
And so that's one. And
or you could grow wheatgrass on your trays.
To feed them, right? Now, all I'm saying is that they're going to produce nice eggs for you, right? And those eggs you can eat, or you can get yourself a small incubator and hatch your own eggs, and now you have chickens.
Absolutely.
But it is so easy, and I urge you to just give it a try.
Yes, family. Yes.
Well, on that note, family, I want you to, again, the message was emergency needs, sold out of stock, unavailable. And we did this message because there were a couple of things we were trying to purchase, and they were just sold out so quickly. And we were like, wow, you know. But don't wait until it's sold out of stock, and unavailable, you know.
That's right.
If you got some extra money and there's some things you need to get, don't procrastinate. Get those things. Get your first aid kits and your band-aids and your flashlights and all the stuff that you need that's going to help you during those times. Okay? Well, family, we love you. Again, we want you to continue to seek Yah and continue to stay woke.
Thank you all for joining us. Until next time, we are out. Shalom, family.
Shalom, family.